You cannot go back to who you used to be. And that is the truth that nobody seems to be talking about when embracing and walking into the unknown. Welcome or welcome back. It's your favorite mental health specialist, and that is what we're going to be talking about in today's video. With that being said, because there's no right or wrong way to heal yourself, always and only take what resonates as well as leave the rest. So if it does not apply, it's simply not for you. So let it fly. But most importantly, grab your pens, grab your papers, and be prepared to take notes. In this video, we're going to talk about what you need to know as you're moving forward, as well as some recommendations, some reminders, some disclaimers, and what to be aware of as you show up and become the best version of yourself. Starting to go back to the intro, starting with the disclaimers and what to be aware of. When it's time for you to elevate, when it's time for you to heal, when it's time just to move forward in life, because life is going to continue to move on, you can no longer do what you were previously doing. So if you were insecure in your past, starting today when you're watching this video and moving forward, you have to face your fears. You have to identify why you struggle with the insecurities. You cannot have the same mindsets and have the same behaviors and think the same way about life or have the same perspectives that you had in your past if it is not in alignment of who you're meant to be in this life. When something is for you, when it is destined, when it is written, anything that goes against that is going to cancel out and cause confusion and difficulties and corruptions and chaos. So the second thing to be aware of is learning to accept it, and embrace it. That's what I wanted to say. Learn to accept change until you realize that change is inevitable. So say it with me, change is inevitable. Put it in the comment section, change is inevitable. Until you realize that change is inevitable and that you're not always going to have control of certain things, you're going to struggle. And this is why people think it's so hard and so challenging. It's not. Just because you made certain choices in your past doesn't mean that you're not going to be able to grow from them. You had a past for a reason. Learn the lessons. The longer you take to learn the lesson, the longer you're going to feel like you're suffering, you're cursed, you just have bad luck, and that you're never going to get anywhere in life. And that's not true. I'm speaking from experience. What has helped me along my healing journey was to realize that when certain seasons came to an end and certain people, places, and things were no longer part of my life, to appreciate them while I had the opportunity with them, but learning to let them go. We cannot hold on to things. So many people have attachment issues and abandonment issues and don't know how to problem solve. It's okay though, because as you're watching these videos and the other 400 ones, we learn, we unlearn, we take what resonates, we leave the rest, we apply the knowledge, and we do the best we can, and we continue to grow. The third thing you need to realize is that you don't have to rush the process. So as you are unlearning and learning, be patient. If you weren't taught and shown how to problem solve or deal with adversity, or if you've never had suffering, if you've never had trauma, it is going to be unfamiliar. It doesn't have to be scary. You don't have to be nervous. You don't have to feel overwhelmed, and you don't have to feel lost. You feel lost, you feel scared because you may be used to being controlled. You may be used to having control over certain chapters and certain seasons and certain people and even yourself. In this moment of the unfamiliar, you don't. Everything that you knew, like I said, if it's not relating to who you are in the moment or where you want to be, it's old. The same way milk has an expiration date, same way it comes to what we've been taught and shown. So just because you grew up a certain type of way as a child doesn't mean you're going to continue to hold on to those beliefs and those ideas and ideologies. You're allowed to grow, and that's what life is about, expansion and evolving. So if you did things in your past and in your early years and maybe you're not doing that now, it's okay. You're going to take the things that you learned in your childhood and your teenage years and early adult years, and you're going to apply what makes sense, and everything else, it is what it is. It doesn't have to be hard feelings. It doesn't have to be negative. It doesn't have to be dramatic. None of those things. You're going to learn. You're going to grow. And once again, healing is not a one size fit all. We just do what makes sense to us. We take what resonates, we leave the rest. You may not always agree with everything. That is fine. You don't have to. So the third or fourth thing, I lost count, is knowing that what's for you is going to make sense to you. What you do as you become this best version of yourself, it may not make sense to other people. You may have to outgrow certain people, places, and things. Take family members, friends, because you were once familiar with them. If you weren't, like I said, taught and shown to know when something is for you and when it's not, you do have to take your time. You can't be hard on yourself. You can't continue to listen to people and places and things who don't align with you. So before I get into the recommendations, this is your challenge. This is what you need to write down in the comment section and in your notes. You need to figure out who it is that you want to be in this life. Until you know who you want to be in this life, you're not going to know what to do. You're not going to know who's for you and who is not. If you don't have discernment, if you're not intuitive, you feel me? You're going to struggle with that. Everybody is not meant to be a part of your purpose. Everybody's not meant to be a part of your past. Some people are meant to be in there for a second. Some people are meant to be there for a couple of days. Some people are meant to be there for a couple of weeks. Some people are meant to be there for a couple of months. Some people are meant to be there for a couple of years. Once you realize that certain people, places, and things are no longer serving you, you have to cut access. It's not personal. Anything or anybody who has a problem with you outgrowing them and you getting to where you need to be is old. Leave them in the past. You're going to outgrow people. You're going to change. And if they're changing and they're evolving, so are they. It's not personal. And nobody who's meant to be a part of your success or your path is going to feel any type of way. The people that you're meant to celebrate with and be a part of your abundance are waiting for you to show up. But you're not going to be able to meet these places and these peoples and these things if you're continually being attached to things that you were once familiar with. So it's like you don't have to be scared. You don't have to feel like you're lonely. You only feel lonely when you don't know who you are. It's necessary and it's mandatory. What you used to do is not going to work. So if you have insecurities, you need to figure out why were you insecure. And that's what I want you guys to write down. Figure out what it is that you want to be in this life and why do you struggle with the doubt. Why did you struggle with doubt? Why do you have fear? What is it? You have to release it. You have to let it go. You either have to write it down, you have to verbally acknowledge it and articulate it. You need to pray, ancestors, God, universe, take what resonates, leave the rest, because once again, we're not here to force religion or spirituality. You got to release it. It no longer serves you. It no longer serves you. You have to become educated. You have to be able to put yourself out there. So now, what are the recommendations other than taking the time to figure out who you are and what it is that's triggering you? You have to realize what you did experience. So the things that you were taught and shown in your early years, in your teenage years, and even now. Ask yourself, is this positive or is it negative? Is what you were taught and shown affecting you now to this day, or is it something that you need to change and outgrow? You need to know what it is, so therefore you can be intentional. So therefore, as you're changing and adapting and becoming flexible, you don't struggle or you're not conflicted. The second thing is you need to be committed. Now, of course, you're only going to delay yourself when you're not ready. Now, if you believe in God, ancestors, universe, you don't have a choice, but they will allow you to take your time, right? But eventually it's going to come to a point where it's like you're either going to have to make the move, which is taking the first step, or you're going to stay there and you're going to be like a deer stuck with headlights. You may not know everything. You don't have to be an expert in the beginning, but it's like until you are ready, until you feel confident, until you commit to yourself, you're going to be conflicted. And this is where people become double-minded. This is why some days people are feeling good and some days that people are feeling bad. Pick a side. What do you want to do? Are you going to become the highest version of yourself, or do you want to be in the lowest version of yourself? Like, you got to pick a side and you have to stay there, which means you have to practice. You have to take your time. If you're not 100% confident or committed in the beginning, like I said, it's common. God, ancestors, universe, they'll give you some grace. But after a while, it's like, all right, now, time is going to go by. It's October 2025. There are 2 more months left. So if you didn't do anything all this year, okay, you have now until the end of this year when you're watching these videos, when you come across me on YouTube or anywhere else on social media. Because it's not a coincidence. You never seen me before unless you are a subscriber already. So the fourth thing, as you're realizing that you can't go back, is allowing the past to be what it was. Grieve your past. Forgive yourself. If you haven't already, you need to watch all the other videos up until now. Self-reflect. Go to a therapist. Go to God. Go to ancestors. Go to the universe. Let it go. Like, you have to bury the old version of you. That little girl, that little boy. Yes, this doesn't mean that you don't love them and that you don't nurture them, you don't take care of them, and how they felt was right or wrong. But I'm telling you guys from experience, you have to be able to let go of that version that no longer resonates with you. As people change and people come and go, you're going to come and go. You're going to change. Growing is only scary when you don't realize how beautiful and how much of a privilege it is to become old and become wise and to live the life that you prayed for, that you worked for, or that was meant for you. It's no reason to be afraid to elevate if you know where you're going and you know why you're going there. When you know why you have to do certain things in your life, you get excited. You become confident. It becomes easier. It does become easier because it's a choice. It's a choice for you to reach your goals. You don't have to now. We all have free will. But when you watch these videos, you're not watching them because you want to see me speak. You're watching the videos because you like what's being said. Obviously, you do like and love me. Let's not take that away, but you love yourself more. And you're taking what resonates. You're leaving the rest. You want to be abundant. You resonate with the energy. You feel inspired. You cannot go back to who you used to be. You can't do the things that you used to do. So until we figure out why we did certain things, and we realize if it's contributing into our life, you're going to be confused. So no more confusion. It's October. You should know now by the end of this month and by the end of this video. And when you subscribe and you have your notifications on and you're liking and you're engaging and you're letting me know what works and what's not working, moving forward, we're ending off this year and this month way better than how it started. Because time is going to go by regardless. Okay? As you see, there's a lot of things going on in the world. Nobody has time to be... You need to be worrying about yourself and focusing on yourself, and then we can worry about other things collectively. But in order for the collective to change, so the world, society to change, people have to change themselves. You can't do what you used to do. So lastly, I want you to take some time and I want you to grieve your past. So grieving your past can cause you to have a celebration, causing you have moments to where you have time to yourself, you're in isolation, you're by yourself, you're doing things that make you happy, or appreciate and talk about, the memories that you had with yourself and certain people, places, and things, alive or not alive, that you had to outgrow from. And like I said, just reflect, realize what was good, what was bad, what are some things that you can learn from, what are some things that you need to let go of, and make new memories, make new friends, experience new opportunities. Like, life doesn't just have to be one way. So with that being said, I'm going to end off the video because I don't want these videos to be too long. But let me know what it is that you guys want to discuss and go over. And if I answered you guys' questions, thank you guys for liking the video as always, all the way to the end. Thank you guys for, turning on your post notifications so you're subscribed, as well as follow me on all my social media platforms. All the information is down in the description box below, as well as follow me on Instagram and on TikTok. I will be going live answering you guys' questions, comments, concerns, as well as booking your service and your sessions. My website is in the description. But when it comes to elevation, we can't do what we used to do. So be okay with it. Be okay with letting go of how you used to think. If it no longer makes sense to you, be okay with cutting off certain people, places, and things. Be okay. They should be happy for you. And not just that, which we'll talk about in a second. If people and places and things are not happy for you, it's not for you. You don't have to force connection. You don't have to force compatibility. You don't have to force support. You don't have to force anything. This is your life. You're allowed to live it the way that you want to. So if you need to outgrow beliefs and traditions, that's okay. You'll know who's for you because they allow you to grow. Nobody's going to be upset that you changed and that you grew and that you're becoming better. If not, those people were never meant to be around you in the first place. Okay? Love you. Bye.